All right, video number 3 right here. We're gonna go to the cleaning up of the inside of the bowl. Again, you want to have taken your sponge and pushed in all the recesses, trying to even, it's slightly damp, there's no water dripping off of it, but it helps if it's a little bit wet. But we're pushing the clay into the bowl, and I'm working at a weird angle because I'm working at the side, but you wanna make sure that it's all pushed up into the outer edges of the bowl. We are now going to move on to our serrated rib, the one with the teeth. And this guy is going to go up and down, side to side, and we are going to even out, we're gonna like rake the bumps out of this stuff. And if you end up having a funny dent, like I can see right there, they take the width of it, if you scratch it, add a little bit of water to it so that you know you have proper adhesion. Punch it in, you will be able to fill that dent pretty evenly. But what this thing is doing is it's evening out your clay. It's raking some of the thicker parts, thinning it out, and those thinner parts, you're taking some of the stuff where there's extra, and we are then pushing it into those holes. So it's a positive negative type thing. There's a positive space, the extra stuff that we're putting into the spots where it's thin. It really helps these bowls to compress in multiple directions, not just, pardon me, one direction. Am I right? Are those guys still a thing? Anywho. Alright, so now I'm hitting the bottom, making sure all the contours of this guy are nice and consistent. We want it to be as even as humanly possible. And then our last step is to take our smooth rib, and this is only going to get you to a certain point. You're only going to get this so clean with this guy because we're working inside of the bowl. It's not easy to get it to be perfect. But as this clay is soft, I'm able to smooth it out very nicely, compress the clay in on itself so that it's nice and consistent. Got a dead spot right there. A little bit of water. Even that out. Back with my rib. Again, I'm going up, down, left, right, all different directions. Sorry if my voice is boring you. Gotta see it though. Last step you can do with that same damp sponge, you can even out the inside a little bit more. Your fingers will actually be the best tool for this process, as your fingers will take all the contours. If you use the sponge too much, you're going to get a texture, especially with this clay. It's got a little sand in it. But as I use my fingers, it'll push all that sand from the top surface into the clay, and it will smooth it out quite a bit. 2 fingers, up, down, left, right, kind of at a diagonal is going to be perfect in this case. Take it down at the bottom right there so that I can get rid of all the little cracks. Lumps aren't terrible, cracks are bad. Consistency is the key. Consistent thickness, consistent texture if there is a texture. You want the inside of this thing to be nice and smooth. And we'll clean that up a little bit more later. So because I have this extra right here, I'm just going to take that off. And don't worry too much about this rim. We will fix this later. We will fix the outside of this later. Do not worry. Just want to try and get it as cleaned up as possible. And this is what most of your bowls are going to look like at this point. Nice and smooth, nice and even, consistent. Now the magical thing at this part is to set your project out and allow it to dry. You want it to begin the drying process. You do not want to pull this bowl out until it is solid enough to hold itself up. All right, and that's what I'm going to talk about in the next video. We're going to talk about popping it up, opening it up, cleaning it up from the outside, cleaning up the rim, and so forth. I'll let you guys see that whole process. All right, see ya.